Hello and welcome to HR Talk, People Management's regular discussion about the topics making the news in the HR world. I'm James Brockett, and this week we'll be discussing government plans to review more aspects of employment law. The latest areas up for review were identified by Employment Minister Ed Davey in a speech last week. They include the Tupe regulations that cover transfers of staff, as well as rules on collective redundancy and levels of compensation for discrimination claims. I'm joined by Claire Churchard, PM's senior reporter and features writer, to discuss this. So Claire, why are the government targeting these three areas at the moment?
Well, employer groups have been lobbying the government because they say there's too much red tape around employment law. For example, Tupe, which protects the paying conditions of workers when an organisation is transferred from one owner to another. Some employers feel that these rights are gold-plated, and they feel that they have to maintain above market rate conditions and pay. This could be a particular issue for public sector roles that are outsourced to the private sector, but we will see. A similar sort of concern applies to collective redundancy rules, where some employers are concerned about the requirement for a minimum 90-day consultation period. They say that this causes difficulties around workforce flexibility and adds to their financial difficulties when they know they're going to have to downsize their workforce, but they don't know how much longer they're going to have to keep paying them. In a similar sense, payouts for discrimination cases currently are unlimited, and employers are very worried about this. They say that the possibility people could get huge amounts is encouraging speculative and vexatious claims. So they would like to see a cap put on that.
So all of these items up for review will be quite popular with employers, but What chance do they stand of actually going through? I mean, Tupe, for example, is protected by EU law, isn't it? So that's why it's gold-plated.
You're right. All of these employment rules are underpinned by EU legislation. So even if the government wants to change these rules, it's difficult to see how it actually will. Just sort of leaving Tupe for a minute, looking at the upper limit, putting an upper limit for compensation for discrimination claims, that would actually break the rules of EU equal treatment directives. So I'm not really sure how they're going to do that. And as you said, Tupe's legal framework does come from the EU. However, some experts have suggested that it may be possible to improve the guidance around this because these rules are so complex. But again, we will have to wait and see what the government actually does once it's completed its review.
Definitely. So, what are the next steps to this? What sort of time frame are we talking about?
Again, it's difficult to say at the moment because this next period of the review is part of an ongoing government review into employment law and burdensome regulation. The government wants employers and the public to put their points of view forward. So the best way to kind of do that is perhaps to go to the Department of Business, Innovation and Skills website and go to their red tape campaign page and put your views forward there.
Thank you, Claire. Well, that's all for this week, but you can keep up to date with all the HR news at peoplemanagement.co.uk. Until next time, take care.